So we're at FinCon, and today I feel like has been all about the mind about money, right? Just how our relationship is with money and the importance of incorporating that inside of the work that we do in the world, and also just being aware of our own money story and being more vulnerable and sharing that, to know that the people that we serve, they're not alone, just what they're experiencing, and just also to encourage them to be more mindful and understand their money story. I want us to talk about your money story as well. I'm going to share my money story as well, how it impacts us, how it impacted us, and then just what we're doing to be more intentional with it and mindful as we move forward with our money decisions. So, what is your money story and how has it impacted you?
Well, I think the biggest impact as far as how my money story developed came from my mother and how I grew up. I grew up in a single family household, and my mom worked 2 jobs the majority of my life. And so all I remember is her being at work, like waking up early in the morning, cooking breakfast, going to work, and then getting off one job, going to the next job, coming home, we were asleep. And I felt like that was a lot on our family. It took a lot of time away from us. I saw her work, just be really tired. As I grew up and got married and had my own family, I almost like was rebelling, like I am not going to be my mother, right? And I was kind of stuck in that mindset. So in my relationship, I was like, we're never going to work 2 jobs. We're never going to, spend all our time away from home. And not that I didn't have a great childhood, but I recognized that it really influenced how I flowed through my adulthood. Now that I'm kind of in this money space, I realized that what that really was me, it kind of showed up in how I feel secure or not secure about money, because I think that's so, as I progressed in my career, even some of my choices, like even how I looked at my salary, it was like, I need to make enough so I don't have to work the 2 jobs. Right. But that was about security and me not feeling that secureness when I was growing up. Right. So I think that shaped a lot of things about my money story.
I can definitely also relate to the point that you made about you working so hard not to be like your mom, right? As opposed to you just working toward what you want to do and what you want to be and have. And so many times we're running away from something as opposed to being intentional as to how we really want to live, because sometimes we can be running so far away from something that we're getting ourselves into something that we really don't want to be in. So many times I've taken jobs just because of the salary, right? Because I knew it was going to pay well. And you know what that did for me? Like, I was stressed out. Like, I didn't want to be there. I was depressed still, even with a lot of money, even, after running away from what was.
Absolutely. And it's funny you say that. So right now I'm kind of in a transition with my life and my career in particular. Yeah. And I make what people would consider to be, pretty good money. But money doesn't buy like peace. It doesn't buy happiness. And if it's not allowing you to really be in your purpose, that's really impactful. And so money is not everything for sure. So being, I guess, in a place where you start to recognize what you're willing to even let go of. Right. And say, you know what, I'm not sure I'm willing to even sacrifice that for whatever that salary is.
How are you managing it now? Do you believe that your money story is still affecting you? Do you feel like it's something that you can get rid of? Do you feel like it's something that you got to continuously work at? Or how do you feel about that?
I'm going to say that it is something that, one, I'm more aware of now, so that's helpful. So I do try to be more conscious about the decisions that I make and the choices that I make. Right. But I definitely think it's an everyday struggle, if that makes sense. Because I have to say, okay, I have to decide what's most important to me. So a big part of what I'm realizing now is really recognizing what my values are. Right. And then, like I said a minute ago, like what my purpose is. Like even with this financial stuff, I really want to make a positive impact. Yeah. And so that is playing into, okay, how do I help other people feel comfortable in this space? Because the security, like in one of the classes we took, we were all very vulnerable in how we shared our story.
Right. Yeah.
And with other people, helping them understand that it's okay to like make mistakes, to not feel shame in whatever their story is, or even coming to talk to one of us because they're scared to tell somebody else and admit like some of their problems and recognize that we're there to help them. And so that's kind of how I'm working through it. It's trying to help other people be more comfortable about it.
It's really good because I feel like the more we share our story, the more they're willing to share their story and actually dig into their story to really find the root cause of why they're, still stuck in their same situation, even though, they know the information, right? They know how to save, they know how to budget, they know about investing and all of that, but they still going left. But when we continue to share our story, people are inspired to want to really sit and like dig and to find out what their story is. Definitely encourage you to also share your story, because the more you speak it, the more you take the power away from it. Be more intentional as to how you actually want to move forward, knowing what you're experiencing.
Yeah, I believe that's important for sure.
Yeah. When we were in our last class, which was talking about the mental health or the emotions that we experience with our story and things like that, so I feel like I have so many stories, but in there I shared the story of how my first money memory, that's what the question was, like, what was your first money memory? And so for my first money memory, because I tried to go back as far as I could, so mine was eviction. So from the lack of money, even being on Section 8, right, you still have, some people still have an amount they have to pay. Even with that little amount, if you don't pay that, you still, risk being evicted. I feel like as a child, I don't know, very, very young, I don't know the age, but way below 18. And we were evicted several different times, homeless at times. And that was a money memory with me that stuck with me. So when I turned 18, like, honey, like I needed to work, okay? I need the money, I need a place to stay, and don't ask me to go nowhere, don't ask me to pay for nothing. I'm trying to find the quickest and the easiest way to get money. I was running away. I feel like I ran away from Florida and ran up here to Georgia. I ran up here, and in the beginning it was not good. It was not good. When you're running away from stuff, it is not, you always gonna run into some stuff, okay? I ran away, like I ran and I wanted to just make as much money as I could. But once I, achieved that job, that dream job, had the money, had the savings, the emergency fund, investing, all of those things, I was still sad, depressed, like the emotions was crazy. And I'm like, how? When I have the money, and money equals happiness, right?
Yeah, so we thought.
No. So I was like, and so that's when I got to that point, I was like, well, I gotta figure this out. And then I'm like, okay, like, what am I feeling? Therapy, ooh, help me real bad. That's when I discovered, oh my God, this is like way deeper than the money situation. Like I've been running all this time, like trying to put everything and everyone behind me, trying not to ever need a place to stay from nobody, never have to depend on anybody to provide for me. I need to be in charge of that. That affected me for a very long time. And then like once I discovered that too, I just wanted to know more about it. I wanted to also, like you said, help people. The more we continue to help people and grow within ourselves, we can continue to grow and help other people, grow on their journey. And also I agree with you that it is a journey. Like I feel like it will never go away, because even still to this day, and it's been years, I'm currently an accredited financial counselor. I'll soon be a financial therapist. And even when I become a financial therapist, I am still
still working on it.
I am still working on it. And I put things in place that will help me to not feel so anxious when it comes to, what can I afford that? Is they gonna, make us go bankrupt? I don't like that. I don't want to owe anybody. Nobody coming for my car. Nothing. Okay.
No. So when you say you put things in place, so what are some of the tools that you put in place to kind of help you feel more comfortable?
That's a great question. So budgeting for sure.
Okay.
Once you're like we were talking about awareness. Once you're aware of where your money is, where your money is going, the plan that you have, then you don't have to feel like, you have to, for me, hold on so tight, because my, money script is that I'm trying to hold on to everything. I don't want to release anything because I don't want to feel like I'm going to be in a position that I'm without. I'm not going to have a place to stay, that I'm not going to have a car, that my kids are going to go without. I don't ever want my kids to go through that. But knowing that I have a budget, I know exactly what's going to happen a month in advance, okay? But also just not being excessive with it, but having things in place. So I try to every morning get up before the kids do, to kind of just set my mind and my energy for that day. We transfer money like to my personal account, so I also don't feel like, because I'm married, I don't want to feel like my money is tied up, like I don't have anything. It is ours, everything is ours. But I do believe also married couples, they also can have their own separate account. Absolutely. In which they can spend on whatever it is they want to spend it on. That's theirs. I do that. I update our net worth sheet, so basically all of our assets, and then liabilities. We have a home that we're still paying on. Just making sure that we're just aware. That is just the number one thing important.
I agree.
Yeah. And then like if I'm trying, like my friends, they love to travel, okay? Shout out to Jocelyn, okay? My girl is outside, okay? She is always going. I can't attend everything, but I want to enjoy my friends. I want to make a lot of memories and things with my family. And so when I'm trying to make a decision on whether I'm going to go or not, of course I'm looking at the numbers, but then I have to sit with it, because I'm just like, okay, is this a memory that are you going to regret not going, right? Do you have the money, right? Is it in the budget? And if it's not in the budget, can you make it into the budget? You know what I'm saying? Realistically. So asking myself a series of questions, depending on what it is, on if this is something that I want to do, if this is important to me. Am I going back to that place of scarcity? Am I in that place making that decision? I don't want to make my decisions based off emotions, but on actual facts.
No, I agree, because when I was younger, I can remember turning down trips and things like that because, like you said, scarcity for me, security, and like letting go of the money.
Right.
And so it's like, oh, I can't do that, I can't afford that. But there are some experiences that I really regret missing.
Yeah.
And so as I've gotten older, I have to like put things in place like that to say, is this something I truly value? And will I look back on this and say, because you can't get those experiences back.
Can't, right.
And so, especially now being in a better financial position, is like, so yeah, maybe you can go on a few trips, maybe you can do the things that you kind of put off, and enjoy like your friends, your family, from that place, because you don't get those things back.
You don't.
Okay.
This has been a great talk.
Yeah, this
has been great.
And so this is my first year at FinCon. Like, I'm at that, and it has been amazing.
Yeah, mine, so this is my first one too. So I'm excited. I'm excited. This has been great to go to all the different sessions to talk. Man, the last one about the mind and money, like the room itself, that was like no other session though. That was like no other session. I feel like everybody in there needed that.
Correct. It was like we were having like group therapy.
Yeah, group therapy, and I feel like even everybody in there needed that. Even the ones that are professionals, there was an actual like therapist in there. She's like, this is great. And then me and finances and already knowing about it too was great for me as well. So there is no room that I go in that I feel like I can't learn more. I am in here to learn. I'm the teacher, but as well as a student, because we can all learn from each other. We can all learn from each other's stories. the more vulnerable we are with each other, the more we realize how much we are the same.
Exactly.
You know, it's really just a division on money, right? How much you have, but then that is it's up and down, right? It's constantly changing. So for everybody watching, what is your memory? What is your story about money? What is the first thing that you learned about money? Do you feel like it's affecting you now? You know, and if so, it's okay, but you're becoming aware of it, and then you have time to still do something about it. It's okay to reach out to a therapist. There are people that I've talked to that have been financially abused, meaning somebody has controlled them with money. That is not cool. So if you are in any situation like that, I am telling you now that it's not okay. To get out. That just came to mind, and so I just said it. So thank you so much for meeting with me, Tiffany, and thank you for sharing your story. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to resonate with that for sure. And we'll hear about it. But until next FinCon.
Okay. Thank you so much.